Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of All Consuming Podcast. Today we're talking about our weekend together with our wives in Los Angeles or Pomona, California. But before we do that, some housekeeping. So last episode, Tyler and I actually recorded something a good month ago, but this service we're using corrupted my recording. It's like stuck at 97. So if I released it, it would just be Tyler breathing heavy into the mic going, yeah.
I breathe heavy anyways when we do these recordings. I think I'm maybe too close to my mic or whatever. But like, if you're not talking and I'm breathing heavy, that would be like probably the biggest trigger ever, for people.
Dude, we should just release it and see if someone can come up with a conversation with you.
I don't even think I'm a mouth breather, like until I listen to myself on recordings. But I guess
it's
I'm a
one
mouth
thing when
breather, bro.
you're the only sound. But
True.
anyway, on that episode, we gave a shout out to Resuscitation Records for sending us a vinyl. And so I'm going to do it now. They sent us both, organized over here, the Hellhole vinyl. And it's super awesome. He also sent us like this really awesome letter saying thanks and we're the best and no one's better than us kind of thing. But what's really cool about this, so they have a lyric sheet. The cool part about this is each song has all the lyrics, but there's like a little blurb from Mitch about what the song means and the lyrics and all that, which is kind of cool, reading his, inspiration for writing the song. And then, it's also a very pretty blue. Yeah. So if you are lucky enough to have gotten one of these Hellhole vinyls from Pipe Bomb, they're pretty cool.
Dude, so Pipe Bomb's awesome too. Chaotic, heavy music. So super cool they sent you that vinyl. It's awesome.
Yeah. And then maybe if we ever fix our other episode and release it, there'll be 2 shout-outs.
Booyah. That'd be sweet, man.
Yeah. So today, how do you want to start this? I mean, so Tyler and I don't live... Yeah, we don't live in California, so...
We live up in Washington State. This is officially the farthest I've ever traveled for any concert. So...
What's before that? Portland?
Portland from Spokane. So we drove that. So all the way from Spokane to Los Angeles was the farthest. Obviously, you've been to Furnace Fest multiple times. So that's your farthest. But,
yeah.
It's hard to explain. I was trying to explain this to people before, like the Sleeping Giant reunion show, and explain to people that, you'd say, hey, I'm going to a show in Los Angeles. Like, who are you seeing? And they're expecting you to say someone like,
Justin Bieber.
Yeah, Justin Bieber, Olivia Rodrigo, or somebody that's huge, right? And you say, you wouldn't know. They're like, oh, who is it?
Try me.
I'm serious. Like, you probably don't know. It's like Christian heavy music. They're like, you're going to go all the way to Los Angeles to see Skillet? No, I'm not, like, it's Sleeping Giant. And then, they don't know, but to us and like the people that we're going to talk about in this episode, Sleeping Giant meant so much to us. It means so much to me. Just like the band that they were, and in the early 2000s, the 2010s, like they were huge, big influences for us. And so it just made sense to go. Right when they released it, Gary texted me and I checked my schedule and I was like, let's do it. And that was it. We just bought the tickets and it was happening.
And then they were sold out and we're like, whew.
Good thing.
Good timing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had the same thing with my boss. Like, hey, I want to take Friday off so I can leave. Like, oh, where are you going? California with my wife. Yeah. I'm like, oh, what are you guys going to do? And it's like, do I tell him or do I just say, weekend hang out with some college friends, because he doesn't know. And every time I go to Furnace Fest, like, oh, who's the headliner? I say the random names, and he did know MXPX. So okay. I was surprised by that. But yeah, same boat. I don't think I've ever driven in LA. I've driven through.
Sure.
Just to get to like, Disneyland or something.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty fun trip with the wives and stuff. We like during the daytime we had to. We spent time with our wives and like went and did touristy things.
Sure.
But it's like, well, we can't do that. We'll get too tired.
We'll get too far away from where we need to be. So we got to make sure we're back.
Traffic ramps up in 10 minutes,
Yeah. Well, yeah. And so we flew down really early on Friday, and the show was Friday night and Saturday night. We flew down really early. Got to our hotel, checked in early, which was great. And just like, luckily, you had some boys that I've never met before. And like the thing too, with all these people that we were going to see. And I think that's part of this episode. There are so many people. Gary texts me. He's like, dude, there's so many people that want to like hang out. They would like to go get food. They would like to,
Mhm.
at least say hi. And I've never met any of these people in real life, and you've met very few of them, some from Furnace Fest, but you did happen to have met Cecil and Chuck at Furnace Fest. And these guys were willing to give us a ride to the show, which was
which is
pretty
super
awesome.
cool. So our wives weren't just stuck at the room, so they got a car. But yeah, I mean, we paid for parking. They picked us up, and so you got to meet Chuck and Cecil. Cecil's been on this podcast for the Furnace Fest one. Chuck hasn't been on it, but he was a lot of fun.
The whole thing was
on a carnivore
cool.
diet, so everything he's eating is just so much meat and cheese. And
we went wherever we went. He was getting an obscene amount of hamburger patties. It felt like, he'd get 3 hamburger patties here, 4 hamburger patties here, and before you know it, like the dude's had like 4 pounds of ground beef. So, which, hey, more power to him. That's pretty cool.
That's a hard diet.
It's a hard diet. He did it though.
Yeah.
But I think like the cool thing is, and it was really cool to like kind of get to know them on the drive. It wasn't very long, but the drive there, then I felt like I had somebody I knew. But like by time we got into the venue, it just felt like all these people started meeting these people that like I've never actually met, but I know who they are. And it just felt like everybody knew each other.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool. Like at church, like this is like the most awkward part about church. Church is awesome, right? Whatever church you go to, and I think it's exactly the same everywhere. Everyone goes there and they all have different interests, right? But your one in common interest is Jesus, right? So no matter what, like you can like all these different things, but you come together on Sundays and whatever, right? You worship Christ, and that's what you have in common. But you're always trying to find people that have other, interests that are similar. You're like, okay, this guy likes sports, so I know I'm going to talk sports. Then this guy's into Star Wars, so I'm going to talk Star Wars.
This guy likes barbecue.
Yeah,
we're going to smoke some meat.
It's how we met, right? We had that interest of heavy music and also Jesus. And so like every single person that's going to the Sleeping Giant show, it's a pilgrimage basically, right? We have 2 things in common. We have the Jesus, just like church, but everybody
the Jesus
is into the music. Everyone's into the same music, so you have that commonality. There's no awkwardness. Just start talking about concerts you've been to. Just start talking about bands. Just start talking about anything.
Yeah. Who are you excited to see? Yeah.
Exactly. So there's like none of that awkward, like, how can I get, obviously we have Jesus in common, but what else? We just knew. You're at a Sleeping Giant show, we have some sort of commonality here.
Yeah.
You start talking to somebody about heavy music, they're like, wait, what? This is a heavy show? I thought this was the Taylor Swift cover show.
Wait a minute. I thought this was like a napped show. Sleeping Giant. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. Really cool.
Yep. And it's super cool too. Like, I mean, you kind of nailed it on the head. Nailed the nail on the head.
Hit the nail on the head.
Thank you. You hit the nail on the head. Like, my pastor knows I like metal, and this new person years ago came to our church. He's a good friend of mine. So if you're listening, hey, Brooks. He's like, oh, he likes metal too. You guys are going to get along great. And I'm like, sweet. And it's like, what's your favorite band? And he's like, AC/DC. I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, Iron Maiden. I'm like, okay. We're not the same. But, because there's so many different veins of metal. But yeah, going to these shows and just standing in line and like someone's wearing an August Burns Red shirt. And I'm like, hey, what do you think of the new album? They're like, oh, it's so heavy. It's so heavy. And I was like, yes, I know. I can't have that conversation anywhere. Like, I try to like mention people's shirts and stuff whenever I see them. But anyway.
Also, okay, we're all truthfully like women. Like, just to be honest, people in our scene
or we are like women.
We like women, obviously, because we're married, not to each other, but we're married. Okay. But we are similar to women. Like, the first thing Gary asked me when I got to his house was like, hey, what are you wearing to the show tomorrow, dude? And then we had this like group text going, and that was like the first question too. Hey, what are you guys wearing? So we're not twinsies. And so we're so worried about like what we're going to wear. There's also rules, like, and everyone knows these rules. You can't wear a Sleeping Giant shirt to a Sleeping Giant show. Okay. So that means you have to wear whatever other bands. And I'm like, oh, I'm wearing No Innocent Victim the first night, and so-and-so's wearing this, so-and-so's wearing this. We don't want to match. Right. And my wife's like hearing all this I'm talking to her about. She's like, you guys are worse than any other like women at concerts or anything. And so there's something to be said about that. It's kind of like this weird, like, gatekeepy thing, maybe. I don't know.
It's a weird culture thing.
It's
I don't
just a
know.
culture thing.
I know some people are like, they accuse people of being a poser if you wear the headliner shirt at the show, because it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know anybody but the headliner is kind of the vibe you get. But
It's almost like, in like high school, like some girl wears the same homecoming dress as another girl and they cry. It sort of felt like that. Like people wanted to make sure like we're not wearing the same shirt. Like we have to show that we actually know ball, So
that's pretty funny. But I don't know what I would do if I saw someone wearing the same shirts. Like I try to pick like obscure,
right.
like a shirt. Like I wore an old Conviction shirt from like their early days, and there's no way anyone's wearing that. But if someone was, I'd be like, dude, we have the same shirt.
Right. We wouldn't
I think
cry.
it'd be more
We'd
of
like,
an
"This is
awesome.
sick." Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was like an interesting situation, and it's been going on for every show we go to is the same way. But this was like, dude, all these people like the same bands as you. You're bound. You better figure it out because you're bound to wear the same shirt as somebody else. And so we had to make sure that we,
especially if you're going with a group of like, we had like 6 of us or something going together, and it's like, dude, if 2 of us had the same clothes, and I remember Steve, Heavy Metal Prophet, he's like, I'm wearing my Unworthy hat, and someone's like, dude, thanks for saying that. I almost wore it.
Yeah, and walking down, I remember we got food before, right, the first night, and it was right across the street from the venue. We leave. First of all, we couldn't get our check like fast. We tried to get our check.
Yeah.
The person working at this restaurant would not cash us out. They wanted maybe to see if we would try to dine and dash, and we were tempted, but it is a Christian show, so we're like, no. Anyways, and then they come over, bring the check, and they're like, so there's 4 of us, and she's like, you want to like, you're gonna pay for it all or whatever? Can we split it? She's like, only 2 ways. Only 2 ways.
I know. Yeah.
What? Okay, I'll pay, whatever. And so we paid, and like we figured it out, and finally got over to the show. Right? There's a long line to get in, and every time it felt like it was almost a walk of shame. We're walking past these people that are waiting to get in, and they're looking us up and down. They're looking at our shirts.
Oh yeah, so we're walking towards the back of the line, and we're just
Yes.
looking at everyone in line looking
And
at us.
I feel like every single person's looking up and down everyone that's walking by to like see what shirt they're wearing. It was kind of like,
I mean, I was doing it to walking up past everyone, like, what's he wearing? Was there like,
what was the most
Lorna Shore? What are you wearing that here for?
What was the best shirt you saw?
Oh, I don't know.
Come on, you have to have something that kind of stood out to you, no?
No, I don't really look at other people's clothes and go like, oh, that's such a nice outfit. Oh, is there a shirt you have in mind that you're just like?
Yeah. So mine.
So I did see
Okay.
the guy from Face Down wearing the Hands Give Me Rest shirt.
The
but
one
his
you
was
have?
in way better condition than mine because
That's
I've worn
sweet.
mine a million times. But
I don't know if he was in the band. I didn't pay. I guess I should have paid more attention. The merch guy for Amor de Dios was wearing a Strong Arm shirt
oh yeah,
with like the praying hands or whatever. And it looked like that had to be like vintage, like from the 90s. Maybe not. But it just
so the
looked like,
singer
and I
was
was
a
like,
baby.
dang. No, and he got it from somewhere, some thrift shop. I don't know. But I was like, that's pretty sick. So that was probably the coolest one I saw. Yeah. A lot of cool shirts.
Yeah, so let's keep this conversation moving towards the show. So we're in line, we walk in, and so we've never been here, right? We're like, we've never been to Pomona. Jordan from Unworthy tells us that you're gonna get shot. Don't go walking around at night. It's super dangerous. And he hears this because he's got a buddy that lives in Pomona. He's like, gunshots every night, helicopters, and it seemed like a pretty nice place to me.
It was nice. Maybe we just don't have the luxury of living in wherever Jordan lives. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know how big Pomona is.
Yeah, this
but
area
the
might have
area
just been
we
nice.
were, there was just a lot of restaurants and bars and parking lots.
Nightlife, and it was cool.
Yeah. But anyway, so we go inside the place, and it's basically like this huge room, which is pretty cool. Kind of reminds me of like the Showbox in downtown Seattle, but just like this big room. There's a balcony on the back, and that's where the merch is. So we're like, hey, let's go to the merch. And we get there, and we're walking past all these people and thinking they're just standing waiting for the first band to play. And, we get up, and there's this lady that's like, if you're in line for merch, that's the line, follow the tape. And we look at the ground, and there's walkways and stuff. And so we walk back, and we're like back at the entrance.
Yeah.
and we wait in line. And I won't spoil it now. I'm going to spoil it now, but we were in that line until Sleeping Giant.
No.
Like 2 songs into Bloodlines,
Yes. Yeah.
we were finally out. And then we're
Yes.
standing in the group of people, kind of the pit, holding our merch, wanting to watch. And it's like, man, I want to get closer, but I don't want you to bend my vinyl,
Right.
So
There was nothing.
wasn't as
I will say that it grinded my gears. I was fired up, and Gary knew I was fired up. Like, the worst part about it too is you're standing in line as like Doulos is playing, and Doulos was awesome. It was so hard to fully enjoy it though, standing in the merch line. And I'm looking at the front. We're getting closer, and these same stairs that go up where they let the people go up for merch, and there's like somebody just sending a couple at a time. Don't really know the whole process. It's the same stairwell that guys go up for the guys' restroom. 90% people at this show are guys, right?
I thought you were
And
going to say
so
90% of the people that go up there don't come back down.
that also is what I feel like. And so all these people are just going up there for the restroom because that's the way to go to the restroom. And I'm just there in my mind assuming the worst. They're not only going up there to go pee, Gary, they're going up there to get a shirt. And it's just firing me up. And like, I shouldn't be fired up about it, but like, it just felt like the system was backwards.
Mhm.
Was it worth it though for the shirts? Yeah.
The second day is the only day I bought merch for me.
Yeah. And the Sleeping Giant merch was different from night 1 to night 2. So that was pretty
Yeah.
important to get that if you wanted night 1 merch for Sleeping Giant. But after night 2, I went back up there after the whole show was over, and literally we walked up there. So we could have done that too.
The second day was like they figured it out. They
it was
got
way
the merch
better.
line flowing, everything worked. Because we were like talking about like the merch should be downstairs. Why is it on the balcony and all this stuff? But
Well, okay, so we literally watched Doulos in the merch line, and it was still a good view, and they were awesome. And like, we've talked about Doulos on our podcast before. Actually walking to the restaurant we went to eat at before the show, Doulos walked by us, and Cecil, who knows everything about everybody, which was pretty cool, was like, dude, that's Doulos, and like talked to him, and they were great. Like, sounded awesome, and got the crowd going. So it was awesome. It kind of sucked we're in the merch line for it, but we had a great view.
Yep, and then we were in line for Bloodlines. I think Bloodlines started as we actually made it upstairs.
Yeah.
And so like as we're waiting in line, we go watch the band play a little bit and then talk to the people in front of us. But like what was really holding it up, and this is an interesting topic, and maybe we segue here, but there was a bunch of Eastern Orthodox priests in the merch line. They were like with Sleeping Giant, but not like giving out pamphlets and stuff.
Yeah, they're
Right.
like working a table up there.
Yeah, which is
basically.
interesting. But then I got thinking about it, we're not Eastern Orthodox, but, if that floats your boat, great.
Yeah.
But that's such a great idea. Like, there's all these Christian tours and stuff, and, all these bands that go on tour, and everyone wants to talk to the lead singer, and there's so much pressure on the band to be pastors to people, right? To be the example, which is lame and shouldn't happen, but it does. Kids look up to the musicians and bands. Adults look at them and say, like, dude, these guys got it figured out. Their lyrics are on fire. It means so much to me. But maybe they're struggling that day or whatever. But it would be cool if bands brought, like, missionaries, like people on mission, instead of going to Africa and stuff. Like, yeah, I tour with bands and I pray for people.
That would be legit, man. That's actually so sick.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing this summer? Oh, I'm going on a mission trip. Oh, where are you going? Oh, I'm touring with Demon Hunter.
Right.
That's cool. And just to be at the booth there, it's to answer questions and talk to people about stuff. And it kind of eases the pressure on the band. But to be there as kind of like a spokesperson for Christ kind of thing.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Anyway, lots of people were talking to them and wanting to get pictures and stuff. And it's like, hey, this is the merch line. I want to go buy that stuff. Yeah. But that was pretty cool. So we got our merch so that you go down the other side of the balcony. And then, I think the third song just started or something. And so we kind of just stood there with our merch. And Bloodlines was good. I think our experience was tainted by the frustration of the merch line.
Sure.
People cutting. Because, even when we were up there, you see people go to the bathroom and walk out and like just start talking to the people in line like they were there the whole time. And it's like, buddy, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, and that line was still there when Sleeping Giant was done.
Yeah, we saw
Like,
people
were
that
still
got
in line.
in line when we were done watching Bloodlines, and they were in there until the end of Sleeping Giant, which is insane.
Yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry for those people.
Yeah.
I would be frustrated, but yeah. Anyway, what next? What do you want to talk about next? Dropped off our merch at Cars, came back, and we were like ready to go.
Ready to
for
go.
Sleeping Giant.
And that was
Ready
the
to
first
go.
time. Bloodlines was awesome, right? Bloodlines did
Yeah,
fantastic.
I recorded a few songs, showed my wife back at the room, and she loves Bloodlines.
Yeah.
And, she's like, it sounds just like the album. I'm like, it does.
Yeah.
But, like, their drummer, like,
So good.
my concern is, like, can they sing that well live
Yeah.
while drumming? And, yeah, he can. Like,
He's
he
so
nailed it.
talented.
Yeah.
You think of, like, Aaron Gillespie, right? Like, Under Oath, like, doing that. That's kind of like, in our genre, like, the dude
Yeah.
that sings and plays drums. But, man, yeah, Bloodlines, dude. Matthew, I think his name is. He's got it dialed in. Like, really good. And so they sounded like the recording. Like, for sure. I thought their sound was awesome. The crowd was really into it. Like,
They played a lot of songs from this album.
Awesome EP.
Havel.
Yeah. And so, yeah, when that was over, we quickly ran all the stuff to the car and got back in there for Sleeping Giant, And our whole crew was kind of together. I feel like it was like Gary, me, Cecil, Chuck, Eli, who we'll talk about, who we met from our Discord server. I think that was kind of a cool thing too, is we met like not only people that were like in bands or whatever, or people that we've Justin from Propositions that we interviewed. We met him. There's a bunch of people. Jordan, who's been there, I think, since day one with us,
Yeah.
and us with him. But like
the other Eli.
Yeah, other Eli from Cultist
and Danny and
Unworthy. And so this Eli from our server, he recognizes me and Gary and sees us.
Yeah, I was actually kind of stressed about that because like we were in this line, right? And so the line originally went right in front of the stage. And so, but security came and like, nope, you can't be here. It's getting too long. Start doing this L shape. And so we start going that way. And this guy like walks up to us. And to me, he's like a 40-year-old 401k CEO looking guy. Like he's got a mortgage and a family.
Just because he has a mustache, bro.
He has a mustache that's like impressive. Okay.
Very impressive.
And he's like tanned and like, yeah, I mean, he just looks that way. But he came up and he's like, you guys are Gary and Tyler, right? And I'm like, oh, crap, I don't know who this person is. And I'm like racking my brain, who's this, who is this? And he's like, I'm Eli from Discord. And we're like, the Eli who's also the same name as the Cultist guitarist. But yeah, so we finally met him, which is pretty cool.
And he hung out with us.
He's
both shows.
He's
so
not
awesome.
40. He's
20.
A young guy.
Yeah. And so that was it was cool to like have that side too, like people that know us from the podcast, and then people that know us because they're in bands and we've interviewed them, and then people that you met at Furnace Fest. And it just was like a whole bunch of different people that came together, and we had both these commonalities, Jesus and heavy music, and it made the anticipation for the show even better, for sure.
Yeah, and like, we were standing in line just like looking and pointing like, is that so-and-so? Is that the guy from that band? Is that? So like, we saw the bassist from Holy Name a few times.
Yeah.
All
it's
of
hard
Unworthy.
To miss him. He's very tall.
We saw Unworthy guys. We felt really bad. Some guy came up to us and he's like, hey guys, All Consuming. And we're like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he looks so familiar. What's his name? Which sucks, right? We've already just met all these people, couldn't remember names. And then Tyler's like, you're from, and he was kind of upset, but he's like, I'm James from Small Voice. You guys share my stuff all the time. And it's like, dang it, we missed and
then after he said that, I was like, shoot, I knew that for sure. And there's just so many names and stuff. But that was, I think, the coolest part. It was like, dude, and then we're getting people because you're posting stuff on our Instagram, people being like, dude, I was there, let's meet up the next night. And so seeing people from Instagram too, and there were people that we didn't see that tried to message us and we didn't find. Ryan's still out there if he's listening.
Yeah, there's that one guy, Ryan. So if you're listening,
we tried to find you. We found a lot of not Ryans. And
I walked up to a guy. I was like, "Are you Ryan?" He's like, "No." And for like the rest of the weekend, we saw him. We're like, "Hey, not Ryan."
Yeah, that was pretty funny. But all of us were kind of chilling up front for Sleeping Giant, like ready to go. And we're old, dude. Like, we're pushing to the 40 section. We're at the upper edge of the 30s. You know,
I'm
37
still
years
a young
old.
37.
Everyone except for Eli. Eli is 20. So, but everyone else was kind of in that like above 35
I heard
range.
someone. So Tommy Green said something about
Yeah.
like, you know, we're getting old or something, or
Yeah.
like it's just a bunch of old people here, and someone yelled like it's a bunch of old people and their teenage kids, because that's basically who it was. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. And so like in your mind, like going into it, the question is always at any show, am I going to be in the pit? Right? Like, am I going to fold my arms and
is that a question?
Am I going to fold
Like,
my
with
arms
Sleeping
and headbang?
Giant, it's like, when am I gonna get in the pit?
Yeah, and that was kind of my thought too. And so Sleeping Giant like comes out, and their first song is Morning Star. And if you heard Morning Star of Kingdom Days, it's like and then Stomp Down Babylon, they scream out.
Stomp down Babylon. Yep.
And I was ready. Like, I wasn't 37 in that moment. I was 25. Like, when I heard that guitar happen, I was hearing Kingdom Days. I guess I might be even younger than that. I was hearing Kingdom Days for the first time. And so I immediately, first thing, went in the pit. And I went in the pit and, like, started pushing around and throwing my elbows back. And I, for the first time, there is another time, for the first time, fell down, dude, in the pit on my elbow. Like, Sleeping Giant just started, and they didn't even play the entire song of Morning Star. They just played, like, the first half. And I fell down, dude. And like, I don't think I've ever fallen in the pit in my life. In my life.
Oh, really? Not even like circle pit, someone stepping on you?
No, dude, I haven't. And I don't know if it might be an inner ear thing. Like, I might need to go get something checked out, because I fell twice this weekend.
You know,
But
maybe you need a walker or something.
Dude. And so I came back halfway through the song and like told everyone I fell, and like nobody cared. I felt like, and I was like, ow, like my elbow.
I wasn't
was
there, dude.
I was like, ouch. And but Morning Star was such a great song to start with, and like I think my favorite part, that might be my favorite song on Kingdom Days, especially when Tommy screams, "I am blinded by glory."
Yep.
Right. It's
I was
just,
screaming that too.
But it just sounds like blah, 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 blah. That's how I always feel like it sounds.
You nailed it. I thought you were Tommy Green for a second.
And so I was so hyped. I mean, the crowd immediately went nuts. I went nuts. I was so stoked. And like, I think just the idea of like Sleeping Giant, like being back, I in my head, there was no point prior a year ago that I wasn't even thinking it was possible to hear Sleeping Giant again live. And here we are in this moment, like actually witnessing it. And it was so cool. It lived up just, right away. That feeling was just awesome. Hearing that first riff, I was like, let's go.
Yeah, and like Tommy Green was saying like he can't scream anymore and all this stuff, and we're like, oh man, and doing Holy Name, and he's like singing the whole time, and so I was wondering, like, wonder what songs he's gonna play,
right.
Like, and who's gonna go on the stage and scream the whole time? Are they just gonna have one of the guitarists do it? Are they gonna have guest vocals for every song? But dude, he carried it
so good
on his own. Like, he had excellent screaming, and even on the second night when his voice was a little bit raspy, like still, like, man,
he has it
sharp.
He still has it.
Yeah.
I was very impressed by Tommy Green, like vocally, his messages, everything, man. I was just like,
dude, between every song, like for our listeners, between every song, there is a story or a small little speech or small sermon, but every band glorifying God between songs, before they played, basically telling you, if you're having a hard time in life, you're struggling with stuff,
yeah,
you feel lonely, you feel hurt, you feel something's missing, you want to be done, that Jesus is the answer. And like, it's so cool to hear like all these bands do this, because man, I haven't heard bands do that since I was like a kid. Nowadays bands are like, oh well, yeah, we're a Christian band, but we shouldn't say anything from the stage.
Yeah.
Like, and they rarely do these days. And I just felt like it was so outspoken and so bold of
every
them
band
to share that. But I mean, on the other hand, everyone there is guaranteed fans of their message.
It's a lot easier to say Christian things when
preach to the choir.
Pretty sure everyone there is Christ Core family or whatever, you know, like it might be easier, but still they did it, right? They didn't have to.
Yeah.
Like there's that
Sure.
part of it. Now, I did go in with like expectation. I think I said this before too. I went in with the expectations and I told people, like, I told my pastor about this. I was like, I'm expecting these 2 nights to be just some of the best nights of worship in my life.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty darn high bar, right? But like, I think that
You've had really good nights of worship.
I've had some pretty darn good nights of worship, but I just knew like I'm going like to a Sleeping Giant show. They're going to glorify God. Like that's just what's going to happen. Just because not only their lyrics, like we've seen Sleeping Giant before, we know who Tommy Green is, we know who the band members are of Sleeping Giant. They're going to glorify God. That's why they make music and that's what they do. And it happened. And like every single piece of the music, the talks in between, just it was all about that, man. It was cool.
Yep. So Martin Stewart, Death Star, came up and did a song.
Yeah,
that was cool.
That's
and
probably
like
not
there, I get what.
Go for it.
I mean, there's a lot of guest vocals for
Yes.
the whole weekend. In fact, there's been some especially on the second night. So many people came up and did like a 10-second part, and then they were gone. And I was like, "Who was that?" And Tommy Green rarely said who they were.
Yeah,
I've done the research and I found most of them. But yeah, the original vocalist of Death Star did "Behold the Pale Horse."
Yeah,
their guitarist, who I guess wrote a lot of Kingdom Days and An Evil Age, he did like most of Tongues of Fire.
Yeah.
He was just up there with his microphone, and like that song's so good. I recorded the whole thing, but I kept getting hit really hard from behind. So my video is like on him and then on the ground.
Yeah.
And then on him. So I didn't make a reel of that from our podcast page, but that one was really good. I don't know. There's just a lot. Like I felt like the mosh pit the first night was harder on me.
Dude.
And I know we have differing opinions.
We have different opinions
But
on that for sure.
When you disappeared, you created a vacuum in that pit. And it filled with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And someone stepped on my foot, and
on
they had to
on
be-
on the first song.
stomp down Babylon. It's like,
No.
dude, you're supposed to pick up your foot and stomp. But I don't know. They like stood on my foot for so long, and I was like pulling, like I need out. Like
Yeah.
I was like trapped. I couldn't get my foot out, and I'm looking around. I'm like, whose foot is this? Because like the bodies
foot
are
of
like
steel,
leaning
dude.
on me.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. I was literally the heaviest foot in the world. And for the rest of the night, dude, I could not walk. Like, and I complained about it all day the next day. And I also stayed further away from the pit, but it still kept finding me. Like
Yeah.
it kept coming over to the left side. But the second night, I thought the pit wasn't as bad, but I was also way more energetic. I didn't fly that day. You know, I had more rest and had my coffee, and I was
Yeah.
like ready to go day 2. I was also way more involved, like
You
pushing
for
people,
sure.
getting out there in the pit, doing the circle pit,
Yeah.
shoving you.
Well, okay, back on the guest vocalist for the first night. I didn't realize this until I saw Justin Propositions post this on his story. He was on the side. Justin was like on the side stage, on stage, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
With a bunch of other people that I'm sure we knew. A lot of them were the guest vocalists, right? But during Eyes Wide Open, Alexis from Bloodlines goes out, and it was like the quickest, like 10 seconds of him screaming.
I
That
watched
was
him
an
walk off the
impromptu.
stage.
But that was like
he
it
just walked out.
was like an impromptu, and like Justin posted this thing on Propositions. Like basically, Alexis like asked him, "Is that mic live?" And he's like, "Sweet, I'm gonna go do it." And then was like, "I hope they don't hate me for it." And he just went out there and did it. And you can kind of tell just because it was so fast that he was like,
Uh-huh.
it was so impromptu. Like it wasn't like he was meant to finish that song, or so it made it seem like on Propositions like story. So I thought that was really cool, you know, like just jumping up there. But like it's the same. Like anyone could have jumped up there and sang and screamed and all that stuff.
I've
that
been to
was
lots
cool.
of shows where they're like, this mic is for you, and they have
Yeah.
a microphone that's like facing out. Just go get it. Like
Yeah.
The Undertaking did that. I think Meadows did that.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
But that wasn't the
Yeah.
biggest. That wasn't the biggest guest vocals for night one. What was that, Gary?
Well, I didn't know at the time.
Neither did I,
But
man.
Kat Von D, right? This goth girl walks out on the stage, and they hand her a mic, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, the mic wasn't on for like a
At
few
the beginning.
lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it got turned on, and then you could hear her. But so she sang, and I was like, "Who's this?" And I heard people all around me. That's Kat Von D. That's Kat Von D. I'm like, "Oh, I recognize that name."
Yeah.
And like, tattoo stuff. And then later I end up posting it on our Instagram, and everyone knows who Kat Von D is. She's got like 15 million followers.
We
and
are in the
stuff.
minority because I didn't know either.
Yeah.
Like I know who I've heard Kat Von D. I get it now, but when she came out, I was like, I'm supposed to know who this is. Everyone else knows. And I was like, is this the lead singer from Evanescence? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, what am I missing here? You know? And then people say Kat Von D, and I was like, oh, okay, that's sick. And like my wife like knows Kat Von D because she's into reality TV and all that stuff. But that was pretty cool, and like something you would not expect to get at a Sleeping Giant
so I
show.
did some digging, and I found that a few years ago she became a Christian. I think she was raised Christian, but moved very far away, was kind of Wiccan and stuff for a while. She became Christian a few years ago, and she ended up becoming Eastern Orthodox, and she was looking for structure and looking for, tradition. And so that's where she found that. And I guess that's how they know each other, because they're both Eastern Orthodox now. And so that's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it was really cool.
I didn't even know she sang.
Me either.
But,
and it was on Sons of Thunder, which is a fantastic song.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of those, Sleeping Giant does a lot of songs to where they want you to sing along. They're not like super slow songs. Sons of Thunder kind of is. But a lot of their songs are like crowd sing with them,
Right.
which is super cool. And so that was an example for sure of that. It's one of your favorite songs, right?
Yeah. I mean, I love all those like group shout, sing along songs. But yeah, I mean, they played everything that night. Like, so the first night was 3 albums: Kingdom Days, Sons of Thunder, and some of I Am.
Yeah.
So they picked like songs off of all three and did all of that. Should we jump to Saturday?
Well, yeah, but like, we got to hear the best Sleeping Giant song ever.
But I mean, didn't they play that song twice?
Dude, yeah. Spoiler for those that are listening.
Didn't you just say the best song on that album was Morning Star?
Yeah. You know me. I always say the best. Everything's the best to me, dude. It's the best. It's just the best. Anyways, Tithemy is Sleeping Giant. Like, everyone, if you know Sleeping Giant, you know Tithemy. And they played it the first night, which is expected because that was Kingdom Days night. Yeah. The second night was not Kingdom Days. It was Finnish People, part of I Am, and
Dread Champions.
Dread, yeah. And so you were not expecting Tithemy. So we got to hear it both nights because we went to obviously both nights. Expected the first night, we got it. Dude, awesome. Like, that was a moment for me. The second night, you know when the Seahawks won the Super Bowl in 2013?
Oh, I thought you were going to say 2025.
You know when they won it in 2013?
Sure, yeah.
Dude, that feeling was amazing. Indescribable. Then they also won it this year in 2025, 2026, whatever. It was great. But it wasn't like the first time. You know what I mean? Like, not saying it was bad, but we got to hear Tithemy twice, which is cool. The first night, I was like all in it. And the second night, there's a lot of people around me that probably felt like, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting this because this isn't Kingdom Days night. They got it and they were so excited. I'm like, dude, been there, done that, you know?
Yeah.
But I was still in it.
So I had the dilemma of, like, do I record this or do I just partake? And I decided not to record it.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to be part of it and have tons of fun. And then once it's over, I go back to the room or the next day and I start looking at the recordings on my phone and I'm like, I didn't record.
It's okay.
I wished I did, like, I wished I recorded the whole thing.
There's something to be said. And every video we took, there's so many people taking videos, but there's something to be said of just like being present and in it.
I saw a show announced. I don't remember who it was. It was in our scene though, but it says no phones allowed. So they go on tour, you go to the show, no phones allowed.
I mean, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
cool.
they kind of do that with stand-up comedy, right?
Right.
They don't
but
let
I
you
think
record.
That reason, I guess it's kind of similar because they don't want people to know their jokes before, so that type of stuff, and don't want to know exactly what the show's going to be like. But I had people too. It was just annoying. Like, somebody drops their phone. Then you got 3 people with their phones out and their flashlights out trying to pick up a phone in the pit. And it's like, okay, I see how that could be.
And then you're like, I missed my favorite part of this song.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, so Tithamy, the first night, it was everything I expected. Like, I love that song. It's one of my favorites of all time. And it's another one of those sing-along, Sleeping Giant. People know it. And it's a worship song, man.
Yep.
And that's what it was. It was so cool.
Not as good as the worship night on the second night, but
That's true. And we'll have to get to that right now.
yeah. So the second night, second day in general. So super fun. We opened with Amor de Dios.
Yeah.
Which we got to watch because we got through that merch line.
Fast. We got in there early. That was smart of us.
Yep. We learned our lesson. And, they're a young band, Mexican-American, very Christian. We got to talk with them in the merch line a bunch about music and stuff, and they're great guys. I've shared one of their songs before on our podcast, but super good. I had a lot of fun.
Me too. I thought it was funny in the merch line. They had their whole like price list of everything, stickers and T-shirts and hoodies and all that for whatever price. And then like the bottom, it said salvation free. So I thought that was pretty cool. Like,
yeah, we were making jokes in our group of the lead singer looking like
not
Miguel
the lead singer, dude.
Cobra
no,
Kai.
No,
the lead singer looks like Miguel from Cobra Kai. And then Forrest Frank on bass.
Yeah, Cecil looked at me and said, dude, it's Forrest Frank. They have similar haircuts, I think, on bass. And
that's all.
That's all it
same.
is. It just kind of like has like a similar haircut. Now, let's be honest. Like, if these guys are listening, and I hope they do because they're awesome, and they're like, oh, they compare us to Cobra Kai or they compare us to Forrest Frank, it's not a diss. Usually when people compare me to things, it's never good. I get like Luke Combs or like Jonah Hill, and I have to like clarify, like Jonah Hill like accepted Jonah Hill or like Jonah Hill now. And either one's bad. So, like, if you're getting compared to Forrest Frank, like, in the Christian scene, that's a pretty good-looking dude.
I get compared to John Oliver.
John Oliver?
What's his name? Oliver, right? The country guy who's singing, like, Richmond, north of
that's
Richmond.
That's his name? Isn't John Oliver also the, like, comedian?
Oh, yeah.
That does late night thing?
Anyways.
He's like the British guy?
Yeah.
This British guy, I get compared to him all the time. He's beardless too. I see it. Whatever his name
really
is.
Dry humor, yeah.
Yeah, the country guy. Yeah, I see that. Red beard.
Oliver Anthony.
That's it.
That's
yeah.
his name.
No, Amor de Dios was great. I had to buy a shirt. I was pretty stoked to see them. I bought a shirt. My wife, this is kind of weird too, though. My wife's Mexican, and so like they were trying to get me to buy the one with the Mexican flag on it, and I like that one. Not them as in you guys. I like that one, but there's this one gray one that I got, and it's like the perfect thickness of shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and
it's
this
like
might sound weird.
Double corrugated
I like my shirts thick, bro. Okay, no chance of like nipples showing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever have those light shirts? You ever have those light shirts to where they just, one little breeze of air or one little tickle, all of a sudden you're pointing right through them?
You cut a hole in your shirt?
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, though? And you're like, how am I going to hide this? You don't have that problem?
I don't.
Ever.
Maybe I do, and I don't notice.
Okay. Never. When I was younger in high school, I don't know if this is true. When I was younger in high school, this happened. And guys talked about it. And this one guy's like, dude, don't even worry about it. Like, chicks dig it. And ever since then, I've not really believed that because it's the weirdest thing in the world. But this guy had the confidence enough to be like, dude, don't even worry about it. Chicks dig it. Anyways.
He's just trying to ease your mind,
Anyways, back onto this. If I find a thick shirt, I'm buying it. And so this was great, heavy material. I bought it. I even wore it to the Dodgers game the next day. Got recognized at the Dodgers game for it, which seems improbable.
Yeah.
And
I was there. It's true. Dude's like, that band rules.
Yeah. And it's a great shirt. So I was happy I bought that shirt, and they were an awesome band. Look forward to all the new music. Hopefully it's coming soon.
Yeah. Yep. After them was Heal the Hurt.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. And they played a couple new songs, and I tried to record them. But it's one of those times where like you put your phone up and you go to record and you're like holding it there and you're like, oh, this is going to be so great. It's going to be so good. And you look at it and you realize you never pressed record.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've just been holding my phone up here like an idiot. people, probably everybody behind me is like, he didn't press record. You
Yeah.
know? But, they were good. They played a lot of the songs I liked. And Trevor Tyson's a great guy.
He is.
He
kind of
supported
was,
our podcast forever. And
yeah. And I feel like he was kind of helping out the show the whole weekend. It wasn't,
yeah,
he was
I heard
like,
something that he was like running the show.
maybe.
Like he set it up or got it involved, just got it started. I don't know.
He was helping with mics for the Sleeping Giant set the first night I noticed. And
Yeah.
so that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And their bass player, too. Like, he can sing and play bass at the same time very well.
Stud. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was too busy watching him to pay attention to anything else. But it was interesting. Like, I mean, the crowd wasn't that into them just because it's like a hardcore show. Everyone's there for all this hardcore music. And they're like, what are they? Metalcore? And I don't know. People just weren't. I don't know. They just weren't into it. And I get that a lot of the guys that we were with are like, they don't like metalcore that much.
Sure.
They like to two-step and they like to fight people in the pit. But yeah.
No, it was cool.
And
I
what was
enjoyed
there?
it. After Heal the Herd, it was Dynasty. And Gary kept saying, dude, you're going to love Dynasty. You're going to love Dynasty. And I was like, yeah, sure. And he's like, hey, listen to this. And you put up the phone next to me and I was like, okay, I probably like it.
We had an episode a long time ago of like old Christian metal bands that if they were around today, Tyler would super like them.
Yeah.
Something like that. And it was like all these like 90s Christian metal. And I chose a song from Dynasty from one of their first EPs or something. And you liked it on that episode. And so the whole time you're like, it's too bad they're not around. It's too bad they don't do anything. I'll never be able to see them. Why would I listen?
Yeah.
And so the whole time I was like, dude, you're going to like Dynasty because I already know that you're going to like it. They're going to be awesome. And
they were so good.
Were they?
They were the best.
Yeah.
They were so good. I'm not going to say they're the best. I said they're the best. Again,
They're the best.
Like
They're the best, you guys.
They're the best. No, they were so good. Like I was blown away. I'm not even going to lie. I was blown away because it's like the type of hardcore that I've been searching for in my life. Like that's been like, I've had this age-old question since we started this podcast, I feel like, and just been like, Gary, where is this very niche version of hardcore? And you're like, it's gone. Like here's where
90s,
it was here. It was 90s, it was early 2000s, it was even 2010s, like some of these. And man, listened, and before they even started, you could tell it was going to be kind of crazy because people started pushing up. And they're from LA area. So I'm sure they have a lot of people that know of them. They've seen them. And you could just tell it was going to be kind of a rowdy, hardcore show. Yep. And they took over, man, and they owned that stage. And it was one of the best hardcore. I can't think of a better hardcore. I don't know if Sleeping Giant is fully hardcore.
Right.
Whatever they are.
I would agree.
People say that. What are they? Who knows? But it's probably the best hardcore show I've seen. I can't think of another one. And it was everything I expected. People jumping at the mics to try and sing.
Yeah.
Vicious
like a
pits.
guy on top of a guy surfing.
Yes.
Because I can get taller if I stand on this guy's shoulders. Meanwhile, the people underneath are like dying.
Yeah.
But it was like dog piles, like mosh pit was started everywhere. And it was wild. And it's good when they have like hip hop or R&B playing before they walk out.
And in between songs. Like the vibes were just immaculate, dude. I can't even describe it. It was just the whole thing was a vibe. And I didn't know any songs because I've never really heard. You showed me the one, I guess, on our episode, but I haven't really heard them. And every single song, I was like, this is my jam. This is my jam. And so I've been listening to them nonstop since. And it sounds like they're going to put out some new music, which is
we were talking to them in the merch line, and they're like, we're working on stuff. It's coming out. We all have kids. We don't have a lot of time. And I'm like, same.
Right.
But
and they afterwards, they said how excited they were to be back on stage and how amazing the crowd was. And I felt like the crowd was sick. And I think that was part of the reason I felt like the second night was more vicious because we were also in the pit. We were waiting in the merch
pits for all the songs and not in the merch line.
Yeah.
Getting our hamstrings cold.
And Gary was into it. Usually I feel like I'm not necessarily more into it, but I'm more let's get in the pit or whatever. But Gary, during Dynasty was they called out a circle pit.
Oh, they started a song and I started smacking your back and he's like, I want to see the biggest circle pit.
Yes.
And I was like, let's go. Like, now's our time. Like, this isn't Sleeping Giant Circle Pit, so we can get our spot back.
And we went. Well, Gary went first, and I followed. And
I
it was
don't
really
believe
cool.
you because I went and I couldn't see you.
I was behind you. And this was the second time of the weekend I fell. And this was way worse than my elbow, dude. I'm still in pain from it.
How'd you describe how you did it? Soccer goal?
Yes. So I got high load, basically. I got tripped and then pushed, sort of. And which ended up, because I was going fast. Probably not as fast as I thought I was going, but I was moving pretty fast.
He's like, I was like Sonic out there. Just
and I got high load.
Circles.
And I went straight to my knees. And in my mind, I felt like it was like I scored a soccer goal. This is World Cup time. So I scored a soccer goal and like tried to slide on my knees. And I was not sliding on my knees very well because I hit my knees and just stopped because it's like concrete and flew forward into like some dude's belly. And it was probably, I'm not even kidding, dude. It was the most embarrassing moment of my life. Like, no one knows it was me. I don't even know why I'm telling this story right now.
That guy's going to be like, that was me.
That was the dude. He literally rammed his face right in my belly button. Like, that's what happened. And my knees, dude, I want to show you if you can see this. My knees, bro. They're still. Look at that thing. Yeah, so that one's the worst, but they're like oozing, dude. Like my bed sheets are white, which is even weirder to talk about. White. And I got up, like we came home Sunday and I got up Monday and there's blood on my white sheets from my knee oozing whatever grossness.
Just trying to clean it out.
Yeah. That was
that's crazy, dude.
That was brutal. And then I just like you and your foot, I complained about it the rest of the day.
It's true.
And people were probably, this guy's weak.
Which when it happened, you're like, yeah, I skinned my knees, and you show us your knees, and it's like, there's nothing there, dude. Like it's a little red. It's kind of, but then
the skin was ripped off, bro. That was it. It's like my knees got scalped or something. Like my skin's still on the floor there. And then I kept talking about, but the show had again. Morning Star, I fall on my elbow. First song of Sleeping Giant. Sleeping Giant hasn't even started, and I don't have knees. And I'm like, this is going to be great. But anyways, that wasn't even like the craziest part of Dynasty. So that pit was crazy because I fell second time. Then they do a cover of like one of the most OG hardcore songs of all time is Hatebreed, and it got crazy.
Yeah. That one I recorded. And they told us up top, they're like, we're going to end with a cover. And we're like, which one? He's like, we're not going to tell you. We made jokes about like DC Talk and Newsboys. And
I was guessing No Innocent Victim just because of like area.
I thought it was too. Yeah. I thought it was going to be an NIV song. Yeah.
But like I Will Be Heard by Hatebreed is like so classic. Everyone knows it. And right when they started, and now is the time, and people started going crazy, the Doulos bassist, like, immediately jumped and on my shoulders, used me as a launching pad to crowd surf. And everyone saw it happening, I guess, except for me, because I was standing forward. And it wasn't just one. I guess there was another person. And you guys are just like, well, I guess Tyler also doesn't have knees, and now we're just going to let people jump over.
The lead singer of Amor de Dios was using you, too.
They both were?
He jumped over, too. Yeah.
Well,
I got him on my video of, I see your hat, your white hat, and then he goes right over the top of you.
I guess the problem is I just have, like, the perfect height, where I'm, like,
you're just
5'9",
like standing wide, and you're like this.
5'9" with Hokas on, and so my shoulders are, like, at everybody's appropriate level to just be launched from. And from the distance, like, that guy, he's stout, he's got good knees, I guess. Kind of like, whatever.
He'll hold me.
And so they just launched themselves. But it just felt like I was like, truthfully, it felt like I was giving piggybacks to people, I didn't realize even what was happening at the moment, and then whatever. But so that was a crazy, like, Dynasty, like, I don't think I've ever been hurt in a pit. Like, I've been hit, or whatever, but I've never actually, like, been hurt. My knees were, like, bleeding. My back was about to give out, and not just because I'm old.
Your nose didn't get broken like that one guy on the first night.
Yeah, some dudes know.
Wouldn't that suck to end, like, can't wait for this weekend with the wives going to LA, Gonna go to some shows. Day 1, broken nose.
Yeah, that would be brutal. He was back for night 2. So
yeah. Couldn't have been that bad, right?
Back on Dynasty to finish it up, they got a fan for sure, because whatever they do, I'm in. And it was a really cool show. My wife, like, you've seen the video I think we posted. Hopefully, go to our Instagram if you haven't seen it. My wife was like, this looks like people trying to, like, get out of hell. Like, they're creeping over to scream, "I will be heard" by Hatebreed. And they're just like climbing over people. And then those people are climbing over other people. And she's like, this looks insane. And it was like there were 2 members of Dynasty singing, right? There was the lead singer and then
their
bass
bass
player
was the one doing most of the screaming. Yeah.
And they're getting rocked. Like, people are grabbing their heads, stage divers are hitting them. And it's just like, it was an insane atmosphere. So it was so
Everyone's
cool.
trying to get that mic. Yeah.
So cool to see. And I felt like I was a part of something, and I didn't even know any of their songs. And I think that's just like the testament of a good band, right? Like, they made everybody feel something there. So that was so cool. And his talks too, Joel Muniz, his talks in between were solid. So solid.
Yeah.
Don't let other people raise
like,
your kids.
Amen. Yeah.
Jeez.
Fathers step up. Yeah.
It was money. So huge respect for Dynasty. They got a new fan. I even bought a shirt. I was like, I have to go up there and buy a shirt afterwards. I didn't buy one before.
You got the same one as me.
So we got to communicate.
Now we really have to communicate and be like, what shirt are you wearing? Can't wear Dynasty.
Also, both thought it was black. It's a brown shirt. So I don't have a brown shirt. So I guess it's a shirt we have now. It's a different color, which is good. Not everything's black. And that set up the stage for Sleeping Giant.
Yeah, how did that go? So before we get to there, day 2. Okay, so day 1, we're in the merch line, and we're like a few 10 people behind the bass player from Holy Name. Very tall guy, stands out. We all knew who he was. We heard one of his friends from this other band that he's in telling him like, dude, it's like no one even like knows that you're from Holy Name. And we're like, we know. So every time we saw him, we had to be like, hey, it's the bass player from Holy Name. Hey, it's the bass player from Holy Name.
And it probably got
on
annoying,
the walk there. So like day 2 on the walk there, we saw him, and I just kind of like, hey, it's the bass player from Holy Name.
Yeah.
And I think we saw him one more time before the Sleeping Giant played, and I said it. And Sleeping Giant, they're up there, their candles are lit, the people are up there doing mic checks, and everyone's like coming in, and like the pit's getting crazy. And I see him standing out there.
Yeah.
There's like, the venue has these like spotlights, and he was like standing in a spotlight. So you just like see him, and it's like, oh,
yeah.
It's like they wanted to point him out or something. But
right.
So I just yell, and I don't know why I did. I was like, this is gonna be funny. You ready? And everyone's like, don't do it. And I yelled. He's probably 20 people away, diagonally behind me, right to the right. And I just yell, hey, that's the bass player from Holy Name. Everyone turns and looks at him, and he's like, hey. And you have to yell like, All Consuming Podcast. And then we meet the guys in front of us, like, you guys are from All Consuming Podcast?
Yeah.
And so
that was pretty cool.
We met with those guys. That guy was in a band. What is that band name?
I can't think of the top of my head.
I was going to say From Thieves to Martyrs or something.
Oh, it's close. It might be that.
But
we met him, and there was another guy up there that said they heard us from the Kingdom Core podcast we've been on, and so that was kind of cool. It
was hilarious to embarrass him like that. And looking back, like, people were all talking to him, and like, oh, you're so, but
it's hard for me too, Gary, because I was wearing a Holy Name shirt the second night, and I was trying to not be like fanboy-y, and every time I was with you, you said it, and I'm like, I'm the one wearing the shirt, dude. Like, that's a little weird,
You should have stepped up. You should have been doing it.
No, I was the one wearing the shirt. It looks weird. Just imagine you're walking around and you're wearing like, some sort of fanboy. Like, someone's wearing an All Consuming Podcast shirt, and they're like, hey, it's the All Consuming Podcast, guys. You don't think that'd be weird?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Anyways, I guess I was weirded out that it was going to
It would be weird because we don't have any shirts.
That's true.
So they'd had to make it on their own.
Yeah. But that was pretty cool. It was cool to like also know, and there was probably so many people there that had connections in the hardcore scene that we didn't even know.
Yeah.
You know? And so Sleeping Giant, like, obviously, or Holy Name Basis, obviously, and there's other people that are in bands.
Yeah, I
and-
mean, tons of people message us too, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I didn't know you were here." After we posted videos and stuff,
Yes.
like, "Oh, too bad we couldn't say hey," you know. But I mean,
Yeah.
that's super cool. The thing is, like, honestly, we could have gotten along with every single person in that building because
Yeah.
we all have the same interests. We're all there for the same reason.
Well, it was cool. We met people from, like I was saying before, like Discord, right? Our Discord community is pretty big. We met people from our Instagram, people from different bands. We met somebody that does a similar podcast, Dads Who Mosh. We've met people like just all over, like you said, Furnace Fest. Just everyone coming together, and we could have got along with every single person in there, and we did. You know, like it was so cool. Maybe even cooler than the set we're going to talk about right now to finish this up. Nah, probably not.
Closing night.
Sleeping Giant. I called
So
it.
I was super into this night just because I really like Finished People. And so every song that came up on that, like I was literally like singing along. But I mean, even like doing Overthrow, even though Impending Doom wasn't there, someone else came out and did his part. I don't remember who that was. Oh, the guy from No Bragging Rights, right?
Yeah, that's what it was. I believe.
It's rough. Like, so that the second night, there were so many guest vocalists, and not all of them got like a shout out of who they were. Some did, but after they already walked off the stage, so then you're like, who was that? But so like there's some bands like Smoke 909 is a band from the Inland Empire over there who two of them came out, and one of them's doing pig squeals and stuff and like some deathcore vocals
on Holy Rollers. I think that's what it was.
The one? Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that was wild, man. That was so sick.
Yeah.
So sick.
Who else came out? Our buddy Justin
from Proposition,
who we just interviewed on the previous episode. Yeah. He was up there, and
we need to talk to him to figure out how that all went down.
Yeah,
it had to be pre-planned.
I don't think so. I think
he just did it.
No, I think he asked because they gave him a mic.
I think he asked too, but he did like message us before the second night, like after the first night. Hey, you guys going to be there tonight too? And we're like, yes. And I'm wondering if like he already knew, like, dude, he's going out. He won't, you know what I mean? Like, tonight's the night, I'm going to go out there and do it. Or was it more like Alexis and Bloodlines, where he just goes and there's an open mic?
I don't think it was that, because he went center stage, and Tommy Green stepped back and gave him the spot.
That was so sick. It was cool to see people that we know too. Like, and he did great. Yeah, it was so awesome.
We hollered at him. Justin.
He heard us.
Yeah, he did.
We were loud and probably very annoying to the people around us.
Everyone around us is like, dude, who is that guy? Why are you yelling his name?
Yeah, and they're probably like, you guys are idiots. But we yelled his name, and it was really cool. Proud of him.
And so, so with Finished People, a lot of that theme is about people incarcerated who are considered by everyone on the outside that they're finished people. They're done. Like their life is over. Like they're in jail. Yeah. Good luck with the rest of your life. So we had like a lot of talking points in between songs about certain songs and what they mean, and how you like talk to people who were in jail and came out. But we learned something I didn't know, and you told me you didn't know. So Tyler didn't know either.
Yeah.
There's a song, No Sleep From My Eyes,
off of Dread.
Yeah. And Finished People has a song called No Sleep Part 2. I didn't know.
It's I Am.
Yeah.
I Am, yeah.
But I didn't know that was a sequel to that one. So it was interesting hearing him talk about the first one and then listening to the song as he does it, and then the second song coming on with some of the same lyrics.
Well, I just thought it was such a good story, like a very vulnerable story of the idea that he had a daughter really, really young, and for whatever reason, the daughter is away from him with her mother, and so he doesn't get to see his daughter. And the whole like point of the first song on Dread was like, he's not gonna have sleep because like he's just, how can he get his daughter back? Right? There's gonna be no sleep from his eyes. And then like part 2 was like afterwards, like here's was my promise, and here's what I kept. And she was there, dude. She was side stage, and I watched too, because he kept pointing at her and he said saying he loved her and all this stuff. And during the song, he's pointing at her. She's crying, man. And it was I
was getting teared up, and I'm like, dude, I'm trying to mosh and be aggressive at hardcore music, and it's like I'm getting choked up from these stories, and like
But that's also like, dude, that's the gospel in a real life story, right? Like you messed up, and like there seemed to be no way to get out of it, right? And in the end, like through really nothing else besides like Jesus, like everything's restored, and he has this relationship with his daughter, and what seemed to be just like in sin or whatever at first, like it all worked out. And it's just a really cool story of a father that like he had to learn a lot, right? Like I can't imagine having a kid out of wedlock. I can't imagine having a kid super young, right? And still being there and doing what he's done. It's pretty cool. It's a really cool story. And then to have her there, knowing the songs are about her, obviously, and she's just crying because her dad's just singing about her, you know?
So should we talk about a great worship song that happened?
Which one? All of them?
Oh, praise him.
I knew it was happening.
So we did.
Come.
Had to.
Yeah,
had to happen.
had to.
Yeah. It lasted a long time.
Well, it was a combo. They did do a little bit of the last song on Dread, This Is the Word.
Mm-hmm.
And so they like kind of comboed it. And I think that's like a 7 or 8 minute song. But I don't know how long they actually did it. Was it like 10 minutes?
Dude, I remember thinking, this has got to end soon. But if I stop singing and everyone else stops singing, it'd be kind of awkward. So I'll keep singing.
Yeah. No, that was pure. That was literally like pure worship. I can't. It's so hard to like explain, but you look and like if you turned around during that moment, everyone put their hands up, did the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, 3 fingers, you know, and everybody's hands are up, and you turn around and you just see the entire venue that was literally just moshing. A dude got his nose broke the day before. My kneecaps are gone. People have been pushing each other, but like it all comes back, right? Like everyone's hands are up, literally singing "Oh Praise Him." You know, and it was
to give a concept of how long it was. Once you sing that to a point where you're like, we've been singing this one line over and over.
Yeah.
Then after about 8 lines, 8 more times you sing "Oh Praise Him," the bass player stopped doing stuff. Then 8 more times the electric guitarist put his guitar down.
Yep.
And then like 8 more times the drummer stopped drumming. And then it's just voices. And super cool. Like, not that I was counting, but it was about 8 times per instrument dropping out. And yeah, super long time to do all that. And it was a really cool way to end the night because they just kind of, walked off stage, and it was running late already because there's one extra band that night. But of course, one more song. Yay, Tith Me.
Imagine though, I was just thinking about this. I was walking today and I was just like, imagine if though, and I said this before, you only got tickets to night 2. And you've just told yourself, I'm probably not getting Tith Me. But then you get Tith Me. We're telling this story different if we only went to night 2.
How did you go to a Sleeping Giant reunion show and not think you're going to hear Tith Me?
Dude, I'm telling you, I would assume they weren't going to do it if they did it the night before. If it's like, okay, we're strict Kingdom Days is here. They probably looked at it and, they didn't get it yet. Obviously, when the encore comes on, that could be it. But it could have been something else. Could have been Wild Pentecostal. Death Knell. We didn't get that.
Death Knell would have been cool.
Death Knell would have been great, man. So
I don't think Wild Pentecostal lines up with him right now.
Probably not, but still.
I do wonder, like, with his new, understanding of the gospel, if there's certain songs that they have, that
he did mention no one leaves this room sick off Dread. He said things have changed with what he believes and all that, but he still believes, right, obviously, that God can do miracles, God heals, but it's different in probably his theology of how that happens. But the song still slaps, and we're still going to sing this song, Yeah. So I do think there is some change.
So some recap on other things that happened. End of the first night.
Yeah.
No one wanted the night to end.
No.
We were told everyone goes to In-N-Out, and then we were told that In-N-Out closest is jam-packed. Don't go there. So someone, Eli,
yeah,
messaged. He was with us, and he's like, "Hey, there's a Gary Street In-N-Out. Let's go there." And it wasn't very far, so we went there. Yeah, everyone was there. So Jordan was there from Unworthy, and his guitarist / cultist guitarist Eli Clark.
Yeah.
Another Eli. Not the same. They have the same name, but they're not the same person. And yeah, we got to hang out with them. We saw some people that are on like all these other Facebook groups and stuff. People that I recognized from Furnace Fest. And like, hey, I saw you at Furnace Fest. Like, I saw you at
Right.
Furnace Fest. And so we got to talk to other people while we're ordering. Chuck got to get his 3
Flying Dutchman or whatever.
Flying Dutchman, but
Yeah.
no buns and nothing. So he got 6 hamburger patties. And I'm just eating fries and a milkshake. But yeah, and it was a great night. Like, we just kind of hung out and hours went. And it's like, dude, we need to go to bed. And as we're leaving, the Bloodlines guys all show up. And it's like, just fist bump. A great night. It was so fun.
Yeah. No, it was
We
so
didn't get
cool.
to do anything the second night. I wished we did, but everyone had to wake up at 4 a.m. to go catch flights and get out of there, except for us.
And the In-N-Out we went to, it's not like an In-N-Out where there's like a lobby you eat at. It was just a walk-up window and a drive-through. And so a super small space of where you can order food and everyone just congregated
without getting ran over.
Eli, our Discord Eli, he was standing in like the middle of I felt like it was the middle of the drive-through lane. I'm like, dude, aren't you worried you're gonna get ran over? It's like, nah, they'll move. And but we were like, everyone was congregating and just like nobody wanted to leave. It was a really cool deal. Like, I think you're right. Like, no one wanted the night to end, and everyone wanted to talk about it, and everyone wanted to talk about everything, and the conversations could have just never stopped, right? Could have talked about that night. Could talk about other bands. Cecil could have shown us his 5 Solas tattoo. You know, that stuff's gonna get conversation going. And so like, that's like, I think that was pretty cool. Like, obviously we go to shows and afterwards we go eat somewhere, but it felt like it was like a true congregation of people.
You know, and I would really call this a reunion tour too. Not just like a one-time show. I mean, for one, they're playing Furnace Fest this year too, but
Yeah.
Tommy said from the stage, like, we're back. We're writing stuff. And everyone's like freaking out. What? So I see a revival in chains. I mean, I see that's a lyric, but I see, like, you know, older bands getting back together, doing stuff, making music.
Question for you. I was thinking about this. What do you think's more true? I think there's a little bit of both. Absolutely. It's way easier to make music and do a few shows a year. Pull the Demon Hunter, right? Demon Hunter can always play 10 shows a year or whatever, make music, and still live their lives. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And people can do that formula. But also, there is a fan base for Sleeping Giant, for Under Oath, for Devil Wears Prada, whoever, right? Like, that is now in like the prime earning years of their life. And people will go to Pomona, California to pack out a show. People will go to these things and spend the money on merch and spend
but not all the time. So like,
no, not all the time.
The problem is oversaturation, right?
For sure.
Sleeping Giant does that, and they do it again next year. I'm probably not going to go.
Right. This we went because it was like, this is a special thing. And so it just feels like, but like, I think it's hard to explain, but like the Demon Hunter formula, I think that's like the best way. Or the Haste a Day current formula, where they've got like a few shows they do every year, you know. Yeah. That seems to be a sustainable way to keep the band alive. You can make music so much differently now in 2026 than you did in 2010 even, right? And so you can still put out new music, you can do a few shows a year and still be an active band and probably still at least make some money so you make it a little bit worth it, right? Rather than, dude, Sleeping Giant, when we saw them in 2012, dude, they're grinding and playing church shows and wherever venue would hold them throughout the entire country.
But they had to build that fan base.
They had to, for sure. But now they have that. You know, they don't have to go and do a 30-stop tour like August Burns Red does every year. So there's just that. So I think it's just, part of it is their fan base is willing to.
Did this start with, you have a question?
Yeah, my question is like, what is it more? Is it more that there's like a revival, or is it like, okay, we're all at this stage of life to where we're older and we want these reunion tours, we're going to spend the money, and the band's like, we're at a stage of life where our kids are older. This is a lot easier to do. And it's 2026. Like, is it that, or is it really like, hey, we want a revival of this music?
All of the above. Because like, even for our podcast, right? It's like forget the podcast. For most people, you get married, you're pregnant, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm about to get so busy, I can't do anything. You have a kid, my time is completely consumed. You have 2 kids, I have no time. Your kids get a little older, you're like, actually, I could do this. I got time for this. You know, kids keep getting older. I could totally do this. Like, and I have 4 kids and I can do this. And so, I mean, the hardest part, I think, is bands like August Burns Red, that is their job.
That's what they do.
A band, right?
Yeah.
Sleeping Giant, that's not their job.
Right.
So, same with Demon Hunter. They all have other things going on, but, you know, and they're touring a lot more now, which is cool. But, you know, there was a long time where they'd go 2 years without a tour, and then they'd have 10 shows, and that's it. And now they go on tour, and they have like a 2-hour set because who knows if you're going to see them again.
Yeah.
And so they go and they play like every song, that all their hits from every album across the board.
Right.
And you're like, that was a great night of Demon Hunter. Because who knows when you're going to see them again.
Right. But like, okay, I got, so just like things I've been trying to like rack my brain, but here's the deal. Here's the deal too. And I know you're looking at me like, this guy's an idiot, but here's the deal.
Here's the deal. What's the deal?
Okay. Sleeping Giant does this, whatever. Five shows a year, whatever who cares? Whatever it is. Right. But let's say they do it. That show, those 2 nights of shows we went to, opened up so many doors for those opener bands. So many doors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it was a packed show. You know, think of like when we see these bands like Cultist, or when we see these bands, whatever, Meadows, Undertaking, sometimes they're playing shows for 15 people, right? Or whatever it is. You get to open up for Sleeping Giant, or you get to open up for whatever band it is that are doing these things. Sleeping Giant is also doing a big move for the up and comers.
They're doing a service for them.
They're doing a service, exactly. So it's like, dude, we love these guys, Amor de Dios, let's get them seen, right? And so 1,000 people come to that show or whatever it was, and boom, now you have all the kind of some movement. Social media got posted, and they probably saw a big uptick just in their listens, just because of that 2-night show. And so I think there is some of that too, like, hey, we can do this a little bit, but we can also like show the new up and comers.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a big band going on tour and taking someone to open with them everywhere they go. And that opener is going to have a lot of doors open for them.
Right.
Because they went on tour, but this isn't a tour. This was a kind of like a mini weekend festival, you know? And all these bands got to open and stuff, and packed house, right? Completely sold out. I mean, the place was bumping.
Yeah.
So,
and even those bands though, the same thing. They're not like August Burns Red, where that's all they're doing. They're trying to just either like make it so they're not touring. It's like, you know, it's such a different time to be making music than 20 years ago. And so this is a ticket for some people.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of these like not tours, but like destination shows.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even Christmas Burns Red for years has been tempting me to go do this like 2-day show in freaking Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Right.
Like, I've been itching to go, and I'm looking for reasons and looking for ways to make that happen so close to Christmas. And, you know, like, I think that's super cool because I'm at a point in my life where I can save up and plan out and be like, I can get a plane ticket. I can buy these, you know, I can stay at this hotel. I'll grab a group of guys and we'll all split the hotel 4 ways, you know, like we'll get a rental car, we'll all split it. Like, we're at that point in our life where we're able to connect with all these people and get this stuff figured out to make it not that expensive.
Yeah.
And make it happen. Like, even Furnace Fest, I flew to Arkansas and rode with Cecil in a van for 8 hours to save money. So I didn't have, it was literally like $300 cheaper to fly to Arkansas instead of Birmingham that weekend. Plus football games were happening and stuff. But I'm just saying, I think that's super cool. And if, you know, For Today says, hey, I'm going to host a 2-day weekend thing in Spokane, Washington, you bet I'm there.
Right. But if For Today does it, what are they? Alabama? Something like that?
Isn't he in Texas?
Texas, wherever they're at, right? Like, if they say, "Hey, we're doing,"
Tennessee.
it might be Tennessee. I think it's Tennessee.
Yeah,
Right now,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
where Maddie Montgomery is. We're doing a 2-night our albums in Tennessee. We're going, like,
For sure.
for sure.
I'll
Like,
buy
that's
the tickets and figure it out later.
yeah, and we're gonna go, and then the same thing happens. Like, whoever they decide, like, I feel like 4 Days is very similar to Sleeping Giant, where they're gonna have the Christian openers, and they're gonna try to make this like a little bit of a launching pad. And then who knows, like, what else is gonna happen? Who else is gonna be? We saw like Strong Arms, like said, posted something like, is this thing even on or whatever?
So you see, I think there's something to that too, in who Sleeping Giant picked, right?
Yes.
If they were an active band and stuff, and they're gonna have a weekend, they're gonna want to pick bands that will also boost them.
Right.
Right. They're gonna want to pick similar genre, not as popular, maybe a little different in genre, to try to pull more fans.
Yeah.
But this felt like a total, like, I'm gonna pick bands all from LA area and just represent the scene and
Yeah. But like Bloodlines,
whatever
is Texas.
they're. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like,
Amor de Dios has like had hardly any followers, a couple,
right.
Thousands, but
Hopefully
not
this
like
pushes
Bloodlines,
them.
and not. Yeah, and so this whole thing was more like a service to like, here's these other guys that glorify God and are in bands, and it wasn't to like promote Sleeping Giant.
Right.
It almost seemed like it was, well, in celebration, but also to help promote those smaller bands.
Well, yeah, they sold out before they even announced the openers.
Yeah, that's super cool. Where like, I mean, just saying, like, you look at who August Burns Red goes on tour with all the time, and it feels like it's always, oh, we're gonna tour with Killswitch Engage, and it's like,
for sure.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, because they're gonna try to complement each other and merge fans and try to, get more people listening. It feels like they have a different goal in mind, right? Anyway, just some thoughts.
At the end of the day, I hope that it is, and I think Tommy Green might have said this, like, this is a time where there's so many, like, of these kind of Christian bands that are coming up, and it's not necessarily cool to be a Christian band right now, but, like, they're there.
He says it's about to be. He says it's going to be cool.
It could be cool, just like it used to be. And so,
never be ashamed.
This could be the start of, trying to get these bands to get to that level, and it is a service. So I think that was pretty cool. There's a lot of cool things. If I were to put it in 3 things, obviously Sleeping Giant music. One, I realized I listen to so much Sleeping Giant. There are people out there that listen to more. Like, I feel like I'm an avid fan, but there's people that knew every single lyric, which is cool. And then, like, 2, just like the hardcore community was so sick. Like, I didn't know anybody, never met him before, and I felt welcomed and I felt like I fit in. And it was exactly how it should be when you go to not only a hardcore show, but a hardcore show that's Christian. And lastly, I think the opening bands gave me some, like, hope of, like, not that I needed it, but, like, dude, like, this Christian music, like, the young dudes, it slaps still. Like, it's going to be so good. Like, there's hope for the future. And our reunion tour. Give us more reunion tours, and also give me some music for my kids.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
We needed a Scream the Prayer reunion tour.
Yes.
Another Face Down Fest. Anyway, Tyler.
Yeah.
We should probably wrap this up because this is probably one of our longest episodes we've done in a while. But yeah, I mean, listeners, like, it was a super fun weekend. And if you made it there, let us know. Tell us what you thought. I mean, I've been talking to everybody, and people are like, how was your weekend? Even people from church that know the kind of music I listen to, but don't necessarily listen to it. And it's like, I feel like I've told the same stories.
Yes.
Over and over. So I'm glad we got this recorded before I completely forget everything.
Try going to your dentist and him ask you why your knees are scraped up. Try explaining that to your dentist.
Up here, doctor.
I'm not even kidding. I had to go through the whole thing with my dentist about it. Anyways, sorry for interrupting you. Continue.
Yeah, I'm just wrapping here. So it was a fun weekend.
It was awesome.
We need more other bands out there that are contemplating it. If you're listening to us, we would happily fly very far places in the United States to go see you guys. But yeah, I mean, if you like what we're doing, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Leave reviews on Spotify or Apple or wherever you're listening to us, actually. So, thanks everyone. I hope you got to experience some of this.
Yes, and if not, We'll see you at the next show, hopefully.
Peace.
Bye.
Thank you for listening.